Good morning, everybody. I'm Julie Pasche. I have been with NDSU for many years, but I've been with the Pulse Crops here for about a year. And so we actually have some things that we'd like to kind of talk about what we've gotten started. I'd like to start by just thanking the crew out here. Michael Wunsch has been an extremely good help to me getting things started and just kind of getting me, running me through my paces and getting me educated on the pulses a little bit over this first year. And as well as the rest of the crew, we have a couple of trials that we've done out here this year, and they've been a great help as far as getting those planted and taking care of them for us. And thanks to Blaine and everybody for having me out to speak to you today. We do not have any chickpea trials here this year. Michael has done a great job with the foliar fungicide applications and et cetera, and doing all that work, that efficacy work out here, and so we're happy to let him continue with that work. What we are doing with chickpeas is trying to get started on some resistance management, fungicide resistance management. And so this year, the end of last year and this year, we have been collecting isolates, and we'll be basically running those through the fungicides, not only the QOI, the Quadris and Headline, but also take a look at Proline and then some of the new fungicides going forward. And so that's basically our program that we've been dealing with on chickpeas. And we'll, I guess one of the most important things we kind of want to target with our fungicide resistance is that many growers don't make a lot of applications on the chickpeas, but rotating those fungicides is very important. And then for us to be able to establish baseline sensitivities to the various fungicides, the new ones going forward, and so then in the coming years we can identify if there's been any shifts in the population and try to then mitigate any problems that you're seeing. And so you're spraying, this has worked in the past, this has never been an issue for me. Well, we can monitor that and hopefully get a handle on what's going on so that you're not applying things that really are going to be of no use to you. And so just try to help producers in that way. And so that's really what we have kind of concerning chickpeas, and we'll talk about the lentils and peas at the next stop. So at this point I'll hand it over to Michael so that he can tell you about his fungicide trial.
What you have behind you here is our block of fungicide trials on the chickpeas. And a handful of you, I think, were here last year. I think you may recall that we stood before a beautiful chickpea field and I was complaining about a lack of disease. And for screening fungicides, of course, you need enough disease in order to differentiate efficacy. Okay, so this is one of those rare cases where you really do want some disease. This year, in order to be prepared in the case that we ended up with another dry summer, we put up a mist system, and it was a very good thing because we've been drier this year than we were last year. So we have a little bit of Ascochyta out there right now, but it's not that much. We're going to inoculate again. We inoculated once here. Just last week, and we're going to inoculate again here, and hopefully with a combination of the irrigation, which we utilize primarily in the evening when the temperatures are cool and favorable for Ascochyta, and with inoculation we'll get enough disease pressure to successfully differentiate fungicide efficacy and provide good, solid management recommendations. What was represented behind us is a combination of 4 different trials, okay, and they are blocked separately in here, so there are actually 4 different trials in there. There's a very large trial funded by the Pulse Growers Association, okay, and that trial is being run here, and it's being run south of Minot, and it's being run at the Nessa Valley Irrigation Research Center at Williston. And again, the reason for running at the irrigation center is in the event that the rainfall is deficient, and conditions are not favorable for the disease, we can get enough disease pressure to we can still screen our fungicides. So let me just tell you briefly what you can expect in terms of what's on the market here for chickpea fungicides. New products here. Praxer from BASF is a new product. Anyone know what the active ingredients are? Praxer is a premix of the active ingredient in Headline, which is paraclostrobin, and a second ingredient that's a real mouthful. I don't know how BSF pronounces it, but I pronounce it fluxiperoxide. But it's a premix of those two. Now, fluxiperoxide has an active ingredient in the same class of chemistry as Endura. Okay, and many of you guys who have worked with chickpeas know Endura because for the longest time, our recommendation was you rotate Proline with Endura in order to facilitate fungicide resistance management. And part of the backstory was that was really all we had. Okay? But the honest truth is that in all the testing we have done, a Proline Endura rotation has consistently performed equally or just slightly better than Proline sequential. I mean, in general, Proline is a better chemistry than Endura, okay? But that rotation seems to be beneficial, and I think it's because the Endura will help control some of the fungal individuals that have reduced sensitivity to Proline. Okay, and so in that sense, the rotation is probably beneficial. But Priaxor is a new chemistry that we've been testing. In the testing we have done on it the last 2 years, it's looked very good. Equal or better than Proline. But again, our data are limited thus far. But thus far, very, very promising. It does have the active ingredient in headline, and we know that resistance has developed to headline. But what I would remind you is that fungicide resistance tends to not be an all or nothing type of deal, in the sense that you have, say, 1 million individuals out there, and not every one of those million is going to be resistant to headline. Some of them are still going to be susceptible. Okay, and so I believe that headline component in the Priaxor is still doing something in this case, in that it is still controlling those susceptible individuals out there. Now, does that mean you should be going out there with headline? And I tell you emphatically no. When we have applied headline in these trials, and we actually have a headline alone treatment in all of our trials this year, so we'll get a better read on it, but what we have found is that first application, we typically see some disease control of the headline. And not what I consider good, but you see some. And if you go sequentially back with headline the next time, then it goes totally kaput, okay? And you have absolutely no control, okay? And what you're seeing there is that there are some fungal individuals in the population that still are susceptible, are sensitive, and so the headline has some activity against those individuals, but not the others, okay? And so anyhow, in this case, it's apparent that the second ingredient, Priaxor, appears to have some pretty good activity against Ascochyta, but we don't know that 100% for confident. And to make sure of that, in this year's trials, again here, in Minot and in Williston, we are testing that second ingredient on its own. Okay, and hopefully at the end of the season we'll have better recommendations, more solid recommendations. Another product that's coming on the market soon, that should be registered soon, is called Bravo Top. This is from Syngenta. This is a premix of difenoconazole. Okay, this is a DMI fungicide, closely related to Proline, right? And chlorothalonil. Okay, so it's basically Bravo Weather Stick plus difenoconazole. That's what it is. So it's a DMI fungicide plus Bravo Weather Stick and a tank mix. And the very limited testing we have done on that suggests that it has some promise. We're testing again more extensively this year, again in these 3 locations. DuPont came out with a product that is now registered that's called Verticin. Okay? What you should know about Verticin is that Verticin is, this is penthiopyrad. It's in the same class of chemistry as Endura, but DuPont has chosen not to pursue any marketing or to really push this product on chickpeas. And their decision is based primarily on price, because of the contractual arrangements with how they got the chemistry behind Verticin. They're having to charge a very high price for Verticin, and it's priced out of the market. Okay, and so I don't think you'll be hearing a whole lot about that. The two products to really keep your eye on here as we collect more data are going to be Priaxor and Bravo Top. These could be both very good tools for us if the efficacy results hold up. And at this point, I'd like to thank, there's a producer just south of Minot, maybe you know him, Mark Cook, who has graciously given us a site to run the trial that was supposed to be done at the Minot Research Center. The trial at Minot and North Central was flooded out, and Mark Cook graciously let Shana Peterson, who's running that trial, carve out a section of his field to conduct the trial out by Plaza. And we're very appreciative of that. I'll add one other thing here. I've gotten several inquiries over the course of the last couple of years about the possibility of using a wider row spacing on chickpeas to facilitate greater airflow and have better, hopefully have facilitate better disease management in that sense. And what we have here on this outer corner here is actually a row spacing by fungicide trial. We have chickpeas planted on 7-inch, 14-inch, and 21-inch rows, 6 replicates, and we have 2 different fungicide strategies that we're testing there. One is primarily a preventative type approach with just Bravo weather stick until the canopy started to close. Okay, and then the curative fungicides. The other one's just a straight up curative fungicide with the first application made at the first disease symptoms, which happened to be just shortly after bloom initiation. Hopefully that will help address some of those questions about row spacing. With these frontier chickpeas, they are very bushy, I guess. They branch out quite a bit. And so I think there could be a possibility for using a wider row spacing and perhaps not having too much yield drag, but I guess we'll find out. That's a description of what we're doing out here for chickpea research. Any questions? The question is, have we seen reduced disease pressure? And as I told you, we're struggling a little bit to get enough disease out here, okay? So at this point in time, it's too early to say. I'm hoping that the disease will build up a little bit here and we'll be able to make some informed decisions. Informed comments, not decisions, but informed comments on it. So I don't know yet. I don't know. But obviously that would be the hope. And we'd hope to get reduced disease pressure without too much of a yield drag. That would be the hope. I'm not saying that it's going to work, but we're at least testing it here. This trial is just being done at Carrington this year. Okay. It's not a banner year for Ascochyta and chickpeas here. It was just very dry during that window when the ascospores were released from residues. Very dry. Okay, I will let you know that all the results from these trials will be posted to the Carrington Research Extension Center website. At the end of the season here, you can go to the Carrington REC website. You'll see on the left side there are various categories. You go to plant pathology, click on that, and then find chickpeas. You just scroll down till you get chickpeas, and there you'll find the fungicide testing results and the various other disease trial results. So if you're interested in whether we saw reduced disease in the 21-inch rows, you can give me a call, or heck, you can just go to the web. Those results should be posted midwinter.